Hi, welcome back to Christine's Home Affairs. I'm going to show you a very quick project today because I'm just easing myself back into sewing. Rather than going to too much trouble to put a zip into a bag, just a very quick video. The next video that I bring out directly after this one will be the bag that the pocket is actually going to go into. Stick around and we'll just do this very quick little project together. I have one more day to go to officially be out of the sling. Tomorrow I go and see the surgeon and hopefully I'll be able to hang from the ceiling after that. I am slowly easing myself into sewing after my 6-week break. Before we start this project, let me show you what I got the other day. A viewer from Wollongong, I think that's how you pronounce it, Wollongong in New South Wales, by the name of Denise, came in with her husband Gordon and had a lovely chat. It was a real pleasure meeting you, Denise, and Gordon. Gordon, when he travels around, always leaves a parting gift in the town that he visits. And this is what he's left in the Gambie. He makes these, and look, I'm not sure if this is a donkey. It looks like a donkey, but it is the most adorable little thing ever. And he just makes them from broken bits of jewellery and chain, and has these little wooden bodies with some dowel or pegs hanging off them. It's just the cutest little toy. So thank you very much to Gordon for making this and giving it to me, and as I said, it was great meeting you both. Enjoy the rest of your travels. Okay, let's get on to the project. Now you can do this in any size you like at all, but as I'm going to be working on a project for my next video, I might as well use these ones here. You'll need to have a piece of fabric to attach your pocket to. I'm going to be working with this 9.5 inch by 6.5 inch piece of fabric because it's actually going to be the lining for my next project. But you can do this pocket technique on any piece of fabric. What we need is something to put our pocket onto. Because this one is 9.5 inches wide, I've got a piece of fabric. This is 7 inches across and 9.5 wide, and then I've put a piece of interfacing onto the inside, just on half of it. So again, doesn't matter what size you go with, this is about the technique of putting the zip inside a bag. And then we want a zip. We're going to be cutting this zip down as well. The zip I'm using today is 8 inches. You want a scrap of fabric that is at least the same width as your zip. This is a piece that I'm using in my next project, so I'll just trim that back, and that will do the tabs for both ends. So let's get to it. I'm going to set that aside for the time being, and I want to work on the tabs. Cut zipper tab at 7 inches, and we'll cut that in half. And we're going to place that over the ends of the zip. We want to trim off the end just before the metal bar there. Place the tab right side facing up. So you've got the right side and the wrong side. Right side up, place your zip over the top and fold that across. Turn it around and we'll do the same for the other side. Open up the zip, and again we're going to trim off those metal bits at the end there. Keep the tabs together and place this piece of fabric over the top just like we did with the other side, and clip that in place. So we've got our zip clipped on both sides. We'll take this to the machine, and all we're going to do is sew 1/4 inch over this section here and for the other end as well. I'll quickly go and do that now. So here we have the finished tabs, and by placing the fabric right side facing the zip, when you push the sides out, you'll have the right side facing up. These raw edges are going to be hidden away, so nobody's going to see those after we've top stitched. Now I've intentionally cut my zipper tabs longer than I needed, just to make sure that I don't have any issues with the sizing of it later on. So when it's placed on my bag, I'll have that centered and we'll just trim off those excess bits later on. And now that we have our tabs on, we can close up the zip, and it's perfectly safe, and the slider is not going to come off. So now we want to determine whereabouts on the bag piece we want to have our zipper placed. So I've got my pocket section prepared, and this zip is going to sit along here with my pocket along there, but we don't want this section seen. For this bag, we're going to place our pocket 2 inches from the top. So what we need to do from there is mark a line 3/8 of an inch from the folded edge. So we've marked a line 3/8 of an inch from the top of the pocket section. Let's take this out of the way now. With our line marked along the fabric and our zip ready to go, we're going to take our blue pocket piece, and you've got the fold along here and the raw edges at the bottom. Open that out, and on the right side, so we've got our interfacing underneath, on the right side of our fabric, we're going to place our zip with the slider facing our left, and we'll place that face down. You can go and pin or clip it together. I'm just going to use my tape that I love so much. Face the zipper down and line that up evenly right along that fabric. Once you've done that, get another row of tape and either place that on top of that zip or on this raw edge here. It makes no difference which way you actually do that. It really just comes down to personal choice. Now we'll take this end of the zip and place that over the top. Line up the side edges and the top edge, and then you can pin or clip that in place. So what we've got now is the wrong side of your pocket fabric with the interfacing facing the outside, and the zip is sandwiched in the middle. We're going to take this to the machine and we'll sew that zip in place all the way down that edge. And all you need to do is backstitch at the beginning and the end. If your slider is in the way, just raise your foot and slide that back and continue on. Now we've got a tube here, and we just need to turn this the right way around. And we can take this piece now and we'll top stitch just down that long edge. When you do that, just make sure you've got both edges of the fabric away from your zip. You might want to go and press that first, otherwise just take it straight to the machine. Okay, the bottom part of the zip is in place now, and you've just got a nice row of stitching along the top there, and I've actually got a couple of skip stitches as well. That's unusual. I've never had that with this machine. Might be time to change my needle. But anyway, I will plough ahead. Take your lining piece of fabric, and that mark that we've got across here, we actually need to attach the zip. If we just attach it like this, it's not going to look very professional. So we need to place the fabric upside down and sew straight along there. Line up your fabric and your zip on the sides and along that drawn line, and then we can sew this all in one go. So you can use your tape or you can pin it in place, it's up to you. That's ready to be sewn. You can see the line there, which is the center of my zip. The row of stitching that I'm going to sew along here is going to be about the same distance as this fabric edge here. Doesn't matter if it's a little bit longer because we're not actually going to top stitch this side. Let's go back to the machine. Move the slider out of the way. Continue on to the end. Okay, so we've done this side of the zip now, and all that's left for us to do is lay the background fabric or the lining fabric nice and flat, and then just bring the pocket fabric over on the sides so that this still sits nice and flat. Clip that in place. Same on the other side. What we need to do now is sew these short edges here of the pocket, and then we need to go and sew all the way along that long edge. Then you'll have a nice little pocket underneath. When I create my bag, my seams are going to be about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to sew the side sections down using about 1/8 of an inch seam instead. These are just to secure the pocket. And there we have the finished pocket. So when you open this up, you can see that this does fold up a little bit. You've got your pocket on the inside there, completely enclosed, so you can put all your goodies in there and top stitched in place. Now, so that you could see the difference between top stitched and the unstitched version, I've gone and made another pocket, and I've gone and top stitched the very top edge of the zip here. I had a little trouble with this because I've discovered it was my thread that's causing the skipped stitches. It was a really cheap thread that I'm using and not the needle. So there you have it. But here it is. This pocket here, the top section of the zip will sit a little bit flatter and you can still get into your bag. Whereas this one here, it does roll up a little, but I actually think it's going to make it easier to get into the pocket. So looking at them from the top, there's really very little difference. So you can do that either way. But a very simple cheats way of putting a pocket into a lining of your bag without having to cut into any corners or anything. It just makes life a lot simpler. Okay, so there we have it. Not one, but 2 pockets. So I think in the bag that's coming up in a couple of days, I'll actually put both pockets in there. I don't see why not. We can have plenty of pockets in our bags. If you don't want to miss out on the next installment, you might want to hit subscribe and press the bell thingamajig that you see on the screen somewhere. Don't know whereabouts it is, but if there's a bell and a subscribe button, hit subscribe and you'll be notified when I get the next video up. I'm actually going to be using this fabric. I think it's a Marvel fabric, and I'm going to do something a little bit different with the handle, and also obviously put those extra pockets in it. So cute little patch coming up in the next video. Hope you've enjoyed this one, and just a cheats way of putting a zippered pocket into the inside of a bag. And I shall catch you next time. Bye for now.